was staying on local government matters. 1 year after the Supreme Court ruled in favor of financial autonomy for local governments, state governors are still controlling nearly 4.5 trillion naira meant for council use, and that's in defiance of the court's order. The July 2024 judgment declared it unconstitutional for states to intercept local government funds. The federal government responded by directing the central bank to open dedicated accounts for all 774 local councils. But investigations show the ruling remains largely unimplemented. Allocations continue to pass through state governments despite a 12-month total of over 4.49 trillion naira shared with local governments. A committee led by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is reportedly working on the issue, but labor groups say councils still lack control over their own funds. Now, former Chairman Karo, local government Nasarawa State joins me for more on this. Good to have you join us.
It's my pleasure.
So I wanted to start by asking you, because just your own assessment of this particular law, do you think it has been well implemented in the last 1 year?
Well, you and I know that there hasn't been any form of implementation whatsoever. Today, I speak with you with a heavy heart as an advocate for local government autonomy. 1 year down the line, we're still here speaking about a judgment of no less a court than the highest court in the land that clearly orders direct payment into the accounts of 774 local government councils in Nigeria. You know that it was the federal government who approached the Supreme Court, and the federal government is in custody of these funds. So federal government got judgment July 11, 2024. And today we're still here speaking about implementation. The only thing I know the federal government has taken steps towards implementation is the interagency committee that was set up for implementation. And this portends a lot of danger for our democracy. This portends a lot of danger for rule of law, that the Supreme Court of the land would deliver judgment 1 year after the federal government decides not to adhere to the judgment, the federal government decides not to implement the judgment, and nobody has been held to account. So for me, I am totally unhappy, and truly, the federal government have shown clearly that is also helping to aid non-implementation of court judgment in the land. And this is very dangerous.
Here, because it was the federal government itself that went to court, on this matter. It wasn't propelled by anybody. It was the federal government that decided to take this matter to court. And so one is wondering, we've seen several challenges to this particular ruling. We saw the case in Osun State where there was a back and forth, even with the CBN being involved in all of it. What do you think the setbacks are?
Clearly, what I see here is about political will to do the right thing. There are no setbacks whatsoever. In this case, like you said, the federal government, on its own volition, went to court, to the Supreme Court. And when you go to the Supreme Court, it's a matter of interpretation of the law. And the Supreme Court interpreted the law to the effect that funds are supposed to be paid directly, since the joint account is no longer serving the purpose for which it was created for. So clearly, it's a deliberate act on the part of the federal government not to implement. So I do not see any form of obstacles in terms of implementing this judgment. And in the case of Osun, it's still the same matter we're talking about here. Here at the federal government, the Attorney General of the Federation, the Accountant General of the Federation, the Honorable Minister of Finance are the three major players here. But you always hear that they are having conversation with the governors. I don't know whether they need the governors to ratify that they can go ahead and make this payment because it has nothing to do with the governor. You do not need the approval of the governor to implement court judgment at all. So I do not see any form of obstacles rather than the political will to do the right thing. And this, I repeat, portends a lot of danger for our democracy and the third tier of government in Nigeria.
Perhaps it also speaks to the power that the governors also wield, on the center. Thank you so much for your time. Former Chairman, Kari Local Government, Nasarawa State, Akala Samuel.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.